Amanda Waller Davis and Rick Flag, SR Grillo, are currently observing a news story as they are both incarcerated at the Belle Reve Correctional Center. Warning: this is the voice of Jake Tapper, who is a reporter at CNN. In accordance with the directives of their leader, an Amazonian sorceress and terrorist known as Circe Anya Chalotra, the Sons of the Masira have crossed the border into the country of Pokolistan. The gist of the matter is that Waller is going to require a group in order to send Flag to Pokolistan in order to safeguard American interests there, particularly those of the leader of Pokolistan, Princess Ilana Rostovic, played by Maria Bakalova. The people that are housed in the non-human internment facility that is owned by the ARGUS Honcho come into play at this point. Meet the bride Indira Varma. She used to be a corpse. Actually, corpses, it's a long story. And Commandos will get into it. The irradiated skull known as Dr. Phosphorus, Alan Tudyk, aqua-climatized scientist Nina Mazursky, Zoe Kayal, the WWII vintage GI, robot Sean Gunn, and the aforementioned Weasel, also Sean Gunn, who survived the Suicide Squad's fated mission to destroy Project Starfish. Despite the fact that the squad arrives in Pokolistan without any mishaps with the exception of a severe jolt to their rebellious systems that was provided by Rick Flag SR. Using his unique remote that was issued by Waller, the parameters of their task quickly become difficult to understand. Despite the fact that they are essentially a collection of armed, mouth-breathing men's rights dunderheads, the Sons of the Masira are nonetheless keeping an eye on the Commandos for Circe, who is their sworn commander. And despite the fact that Princess Ilana takes an instant liking to Flag, and that the squad is welcomed in general, it is still the impression that something is wrong in Pokolistan. And this is before Phosphorus engages Flag in a fierce battle in the battleground. Take what I've said exactly. It is true that James Gunn is the co-chairman and the creative head on the newly formed DC Universe, and Creature Commandos is the first official stop for that interconnected universe. However, there is also a cartoon version of Gunn that appears in the credits of the series, and his own particular house style is embedded throughout the look, lines, and tone of the cartoon. In a nutshell, Commandos plays the role of a single Gunn film while also serving as the beginning of something more substantial. At the moment, marquee adult animation is experiencing a time of success. There is a faithful new rendition of Watchmen that is featured in Max. Twilight of the Gods, a cartoon fantasy epic that maintains Netflix's business relationship with Zack Snyder, was only recently released on the streaming service. The film is bloody and occasionally nasty. An intriguing new science fiction and animation series called Tokyo Override is also available on the streaming service. It is our opinion that the adult animation space is a win for the writing of James Gunn because it enables him to freely indulge in both gross-out laughs, such as Wesley erratically peeing on his teammates, and a sense of outrageous bloodshed such as G.I. Robot, with his articulated arm gun, keeping an oral tally of vintage Nazi kiosks. On the other hand, Gunn is the kind of person who enjoys compassion and the universality of the human condition, even when his characters aren't exactly human themselves. It takes only 10 minutes out of the 22 minutes that make up the first episode of Creature Commandos to establish all of this as the tone of the show, and it is immediately appealing. In the role of the bride, the wonderful Indira Varma, who is attempting to calm down a pushy Pokolistan royal guard, is of course also there. Sir Dusha Lot. In my opinion, I do not require a schedule. In terms of a sentence, it is a delightful spiritual throwback to Peter Quill telling Rocket that he is cybernetically created to be a douchebag. Nevertheless, the Rocket character arc is equally relevant to Creature Commandos. This is because by the time the third installment of Guardians was released, the Space Raccoon's predicament as a creature of circumstance was the one that pulled all of the heartstrings that were available. Gunn appears to be prepared to lean into making the members on this new squad layered and dimensional, rather than simply unstable and fanciful. The word creature is right there in the title of this new installment. Believe us when we say that whenever Alan Tudyk's veteran voice acting makes a reference to the fact that Dr. Phosphorus is smiling behind his luminous rictus, it is easy to agree, and determine whether his unchanging grin is utterly mocking or completely real. In the middle ground between those two choices, Creature Commandos finds its greatest success. It's time to part ways, my bride. You have been located. Do you remember David Harbour's performance in Black Widow, in which he made use of a captivatingly broad Eastern European accent? A reimagining of it has been brought back for Creature Commandos, in which Eric Frankenstein is given a second chance at life from the very beginning. In the role of Nina Mazursky, Zoe Kao emerges as a notable and noteworthy performer in the film Commandos. In spite of the fact that she is equipped with gills and a glass bowl breathing device, she is the most traditional member of the bunch. On the other hand, her reserved demeanor conceals a fascinating mystery that is being gradually revealed. Most pilot Y-line across her countless DC-branded appearances: Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, the Plan's spin-off Waller, and as she turns into a cartoon without skipping a beat, Viola Davis continues to keep Amanda Waller dialed in, delivering sardonic, cutting remarks. Everything is off the table if Princess Ilana is deposed by some nutjob wearing a witch's hat, the speaker said.